Okay, that'll move us on into Sleeper Spotlight.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't done this one in a week or two. A few episodes. Maybe
Well,
we snuck one in
I
last
think
time.
we
I
do
can't
it every
remember.
episode, but the last episode was Q&A. So
Oh, that's right. We did
mostly just
Q&A
taking
last time. Yeah.
questions.
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
yeah, I love this one. Of course, we've been doing this since the beginning of this podcast, but I love finding other drummers that have, you know, their own following, and if they barely even have a following, their own style, and
Yeah.
you know, variety of these drummers is very important. And we also like to push members of the community up and give them recognition. So
Yeah.
First off, we have Ofri Nehemia from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Okay.
It's at @1Hemia.
How do you
on
pronounce
Instagram.
that name?
Ofri
Ofri.
Nehemia.
That's a cool name.
I
All
think
right.
I might be butchering it. It's all right if I am, I guess.
All right, let's go video 1 from Ofri. Here we go.
Ofri.
And some high-level jazz comping, that's for sure. Some of those hand-foot patterns were brutal. I heard like inverted double strokes as triplets, which is very tricky to get up to speed like that. A lot of subdivision work for sure. And for those that, if that kind of playing sounds deeply like foreign to some people, because it's, you know, pretty abstract jazz, a lot of what's happening there is like rudiments, except they're not played between your hands. They're played between like one hand and one foot. So just imagine a paradiddle, but it's right, kick, right, kick, for example. You know, it could be something like that. So there's a lot of that sort of thing going on in here, which is how you get those. It's like rudiments, but the voices are very different. Like one half of the rudiment is on a ride cymbal or ghost noted on a snare, and the other one is on the bass drum. So that's how you get those like complicated, really blurry sort of phrases. And the only thing, man, it sounds good in this example for sure, but his bass drum sound is so traditionally jazzy, right? That dry, kind of hollow sort of thing. Not a lot of attack, not a lot of slap. And my ears have never gotten fully accustomed to that bass drum sound. It always feels like something's wrong, but it's not. It's actually how they all used to sound until they started sounding how they did, you know, 20, 30 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. But a good player, man. I mean, definitely some really advanced concepts. One of those videos you could slow down and pull out like 10 ideas in like a 10-second clip. You know, just so many fast ideas, but high-level jazz. So I'm curious in this next one if this is his like... He's got to be a jazz purist. Nobody would have a kit that sounds like this and play that high level, and not be a full-time jazz player, right?
Yeah, I think like jazz marching, I think, is where his background is.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Explains the hand speed.
Yeah, this next one is crazy.
Okay,
take a look at this one.
Let's pull up clip number 2 from Ofri. Here we go. I love that he just hangs his left hand down just to like
just to prove
just
to
to prove. Yeah, I got that vibe too. Just like look at it, it's not moving. That was funny.
Oh man,
that was awesome, man. A very quick foot, obviously. I mean, you could tell from the first video as well. Very fast foot for sure.
Yeah.
And a Gretsch, which is the right jazz kit to get. If you want a jazzy sounding kit, I mean, Gretsch is definitely might be. I don't know. I think Mark Juliana. That's the vibe that I go. Like I can hear that type of kit. I enjoy it. A lot of jazz kits I don't necessarily enjoy, or I don't understand exactly what the sound is supposed to be. I just don't have the ears for it. from not listening to a tremendous amount of jazz. But Gretsch, like the Gretsch Renowns, like certain ones I can hear, like I hear the quality jazziness to that kit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's very cool. Also, what a good example of, have you ever just done the thought experiment? Like, what if I lost an arm? Like, would I still play drums?
Yeah.
Like, would you do it, you know?
I think I would quit. I think it's just like a lost cause at that point. Just,
Well,
never mind.
But like, listen, I mean, there are people who have been playing for 5 years that can't be this musically expressive, right? Like, you can say a lot with only 3 limbs. It's crazy. I mean, most people they ignored their left foot entirely for the whole time they play drums. So it's like you already play with 3 limbs all the time.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it was a good example of like how much can be said with without using a limb. It's really crazy if you want to go that far down the wormhole and practice those sort of things.
Yeah, and then just imagine what it would sound like if he added in his left hand. Like, what other possibilities are there?
Yeah.
Endless.
And I forget that like half the people listening to this are just listening, so we should clarify. All of that was played with just his right hand. His left hand was hanging down by his hip the whole time. I forget people can't see the video a lot of times. So yeah, that was just played with entirely the right hand. So if you were impressed, hopefully you're more impressed knowing that now. But really good player, man. I'd love to see some more of his videos. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, check him out. He's got about 5,200 followers on Instagram. So let's get him up to 10K. Offrey, you're amazing.
Yeah,
if I'm mispronouncing your name, yell at me. I don't care.
Send us an angry email, dude.
Sweet. All right, cool. Well, thank you, Offrey.
Yeah.
And we got another sleeper here. We got John Holbrook Drums.
Okay.
So John is from Yorkshire. He's got 8,000 followers. He was nominated by his friend Cannon. In his email that Cannon sent me, he said he's the kindest, most passionate dude ever. I truly believe he'll be at the forefront of the UK drum scene with a bit of a push on his socials, so I want to help out however I can.
Cool.
Big fan of what you and Adam do, so thank you in advance for the consideration.
Awesome. What was the name of the guy that sent that?
Cannon.
Cannon. Well, thank you, Cannon. That's awesome, brother. You doing Mr. Holbrook here a solid.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's check him out. This is John Holbrook?
Yep.
Cool. First video from John. I like this guy's playing a lot. Very, very interesting. A whole lot of things you could say about that. Yeah. First of all, Benny Greb Sig Snare?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that. First of all, the first groove when he came in had a strong Keith Carlock vibe, like that fat, super thick, super intentional groove, like deep, deep pocket. So that I like that that's how the video opened, because it sort of says like, here's my bass, and let that sink in for a minute, and then here's all this weird shit I can do on top, right?
Yeah.
I also loved that he used a variety of different techniques, and I don't mean like hand techniques, but like of all the skill sets you can have, he went through some of them that weren't so like obviously impressive, but they are actually really impressive, like high-level subdivision manipulation. It's not fast. That's not why it's impressive. It's impressive because you lose it. Like your ears can't keep up with what he's doing. Like a couple moments of like, where's the one? Like, I'm not sure. Like that is a very impressive skill set, to be able to like take your ears and just twist them around for a second. You're like, like what happened? Like, so very, very cool time manipulations. There were a couple things in there where I lost the one. Like, I'm not entirely sure like what he did, but like he threw my ears for a second. And it wasn't necessarily rooted in speed. Also unique patterns, a lot of kick snare hitting at the same time. So like that sort of stuttering kind of thing. Spanky McCurdy does that a whole lot. Very interesting player for sure. There was a lot more I could say about that, but let's do another clip, man, because that was what's the way, like eclectic, right? It was just like a whole bunch of interesting things about that all at the same time. So this is a second clip from Mr. Holbrook. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oof, very fast.
Oh, God. Could have done
I love how he buries his sticks only sometimes. Like, it's for the sound. It's not that that's how he plays. It's just like sometimes you like, whop, and you just leave the stick on the snare on purpose. That was very, very cool. It's such a good example of intentional playing, where this is not... I don't know how to best describe that, but like it's all on purpose.
It's all confidence in your playing.
Extreme confidence, yeah. And it sounds like he's making things up as he goes along, and he definitely is improvising a lot of this for sure. But there's confidence is a good word to use. There's a certain level of confidence where it's like, but he knows what sound was supposed to be there. So it's random to you, but not necessarily to him. To him, this is like articulate thoughts that are like being expressed through his hands, but there's a certain level of like precision in thinking that is very obvious here, and that translates to the precision of playing. We're going to get into that concept in the closing message of this podcast a little bit, but yeah, there's a certain precision, a certain confidence, a certain articulation to his playing that is just very, very advanced. And those qualities are earned. It's not, nobody's born with that at all. It's very, very earned with a lot of time behind the kit. So this was very uniquely impressive for sure. So I definitely love his playing. I love seeing things that don't remind me of anyone else. Like, I don't really have a lot, aside from the Keith Carlock groove thing, I don't have a lot of drummers that come to mind that I would say, oh, he plays very similar to this guy. Which is kind of a cool spot to be. You got to earn that too. Everybody sounds like somebody until you don't anymore. So yeah, man, high level player, very interesting stuff. I like that a lot. Definitely, I put him in my top 5 of drummers we've covered on this segment for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, John.
Yeah, man. That was awesome.
Killing it. All right, well, if you guys have any suggestions for sleepers that you're seeing on the internet, anywhere, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're finding them, send them to me at chris@orlandodrummer.com, and we'll be sure to feature these people. If you have a buddy that you would like to feature on here, give them a nomination. We'll put them on the segment.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this clip from the Orlando Drummer Podcast. If you're looking for more content like this, you are formally invited to come join me on orlandodrummer.com. It's an online education platform, very much in the style of Netflix, and there you'll find over 160 hours of content waiting for you, ranging from in-depth lesson packs to audio and video masterclasses and everything in between. I'd love to have you on board. We'll see you guys there.